The Orient Express starts from Paris to Istanbul, and what do we see? That the journey time from London to Istanbul by this express has been reduced by to 96 hours, right? And before that, people used to travel by means of the sea routes, which used to take them 10 days. So from London to Istanbul, that's a great achievement. And you can see from London, people must can reach till Paris uh, through the uh, Channel Tunnel, and from there they can move on from this railway line to Istanbul. So Paris to Istanbul, this line runs from Paris to Istanbul, है ना? And why is it written London to Istanbul? Because in London to Paris also there is a railway line, which is tube railways, channel tunnel, which we had already done. So what are the things exported by Orient Express? Cheese, bacon, oat, wine, fruit, and machinery. This question has never come about Orient Express, but you should know that there's an Orient Express from Paris to Istanbul. Now we come to the next word, that is water transport. वाटर ट्रांसपोर्ट जो है इसमें एक तो रूट कंस्ट्रक्शन की जरूरत नहीं है. देयर इज नो नीड टू कंस्ट्रक्ट द रूट. सेकेंडली, इट इज लिंक नेगोशिएबल बाय वेरियस साइज शिप्स, बिकॉज कोई सड़क तो है नहीं कि इतने साइज की शिप जा सकती है या गाड़ी जा सकती है. तो रोड कंस्ट्रक्शन का कोई चक्कर ही नहीं है ना. तो all the thing that you need to is to provide port facilities at the end. So that is the only thing that you need to require. It is cheaper because of lesser friction. In road transport, you require vehicles which have to overcome friction, but not so in the railways. Sorry, not so in the waterways, because in waterways you are not uh, you are using the you are floating over the water, and so the amount of friction that water provides, because the boats are made in such a way that they can easily float over it, is much lesser, right? And energy cost of water transport is lower, and it is divided into two parts: sea routes and inland waterways. So sea routes, if you see, there is no maintenance cost. Secondly, they are cheaper uh, because friction is less on the sea routes. And then comes another question, very important question. What are the characteristics of modern passenger liners? Here is the question. What are the characteristics of modern passenger liners? And what are the characters that they are equipped with navigation, wireless, radar, right? And they, if they are meant for food, etc., then they have got chambers for storing the refrigerated goods. And if there are specialized tankers also for carrying oil, right? And specialized ships for carrying cargo. And use of containers has increased to a great extent. Last time I showed you the containers. So containers, if you see, they are very big containers in which a lot of goods can be taken from one place to another. So now we come to the important sea routes. The most important sea route is North Atlantic Sea Route. North Atlantic Sea Route. North Atlantic Sea Route. North Atlantic Sea Route has one advantage, that on one side it has got USA, and on the other side it has got Europe. So both of them are a part of it. You can see on the map North Atlantic Sea Route. On one side there is USA, one of the most developed continent, uh, and it has got Canada and USA, Mexico. So these areas, and it has got Europe, one of the most developed continent this side also. So both the developed countries are on the same side, and that is why if you see, it says this route has one fourth of the world foreign trade. How much? One fourth. What is the other character? That it is the busiest route. So you should remember that it is the busiest route, and it is also called as the big trunk route, and it has got advanced port facilities. So all the pink one will become your points for you to remember. So if you remember the pink words, you will be able to frame your answer, right? Now, Mediterranean Indian Ocean sea route from Europe, this route from here, which passes through Suez Canal and comes to India, is called as Mediterranean Indian Ocean sea route. This is your Suez Canal. So it passes from Mediterranean Sea, and when Suez Canal was constructed, this route reduced the distance to a great extent. Because before the Suez Canal was constructed, a lot of time was wasted, and people had to come all through the Cape of Good Hope sea route. They had to, from Europe, they had to come, like the British used to come to India by sea like this. The goods also used to go like this through the Cape of Good Hope. So Cape Town is here, you can see. So Mediterranean Indian Ocean route, if you see, is the one which joins ports at Aden, Mumbai, Colombo, and Singapore. If you see these ports, you had already learned. You can see Mumbai, Colombo, Aden, Suez, and here London. So all these are joined because of the Mediterranean Indian Ocean route, right? And it is reduced distance. It has been able to reduce the distance, right? And further, what do we see? Cape of Good Hope sea route. Here, if you can see, uh, Cape of Good Hope sea route is this one, the next sea route which we have to discuss. And here you can see on this route connects highly industrialized Western European countries and West Africa, South Africa, East Asia, and uh, commercial agriculture and livestock economies of Australia and New Zealand. So now what he is saying, that what is the importance of Cape of Good Hope route, that people go all the way like this, and when they move further, they reach this particular part. So they can reach till Australia through the Mediterranean to see to Indian Ocean, and this is how it's a very important route. And the volume of trade and traffic both east and west of Africa is increasing due to development of rich natural resources like gold, diamond, copper, and so these are the things which are transported. Not a very important point, but anyway, I will highlight it for you. And then, if you ask me which question will come in the paper, then I will tell you the most important sea route in terms of see. Before that, we had got done railways. Now I'm telling you a very important question. I need to write that down for you. That this is a very important question. You can write down. This is an important question. Okay, very important question. Why? Because this is the most important uh, sea route, and it is also called as a big trunk route. They may ask you name the route which is called big trunk route. Yeah, what do you understand by big trunk route? So big trunk route is the North Atlantic sea route that we have, right? And further we can see uh, the second route is second most important. Mediterranean Indian Ocean sea route is second most important, and they have put all the routes on the basis of their importance. And the third one, Cape of Good Hope sea route, is still important for Australia, etc. If suppose the ships are very big, and if time is not a priority, then large vessels which may find Suez Canal smaller in size, and a lot of time is wasted here because Suez Canal only it's one track. Either ships can go or come. So what happens is that a lot of large ships, to avoid the toll tax, they take this longer route, right? So that is why Cape of Good Hope still has importance. And again, why is it being used? It is used for taking goods from one place to another. Now we come to the Southern Atlantic sea route. Southern Atlantic sea route, if you see, is again on the map in front of you. The Southern Atlantic sea route, on both the sides of Southern Atlantic sea route, just like North Atlantic sea route was very, very important, Southern Atlantic sea route is not that important. Why is Southern North Atlantic sea route not important? If you notice, uh, South America and Africa, both of them are not very developed. That is why the goods transported between them is also less. If you see, the connection towards Europe is existing, and uh, you can see the lines, the sea routes that are existing, and most of the sea routes are New York also, it is existing. From developed countries, things are coming to developing countries, and things of developing countries may be going to developed countries. But because here the level of development is low, both sides, so that route is, it's not so well developed. Even if you see in Africa, a lot of sea faring things are being done in South Africa. In the whole Africa, uh, both the sides have nearly the same type of goods because of lack of development. And you can see the Southern Atlantic sea route. Uh, Here, if you see, the traffic is much less, it says, right? So here we see that the traffic is because of limited development of South America and Africa. The same line which I told you is written here, है ना? And further, what do you see? There is also little traffic on the route between Rio de Janeiro and Cape Town because both South Africa have similar products and resources. So resources on the same latitude are always the same, and in terms of development, they are also not very different. That is why it is so. North Pacific Sea Route is too long a route, and uh, Russia and America have trade is very less. You know, Japan has got a good trade with America that exists, and here you can see the North Pacific Sea route. North Pacific Sea route वैंकूवर टू योकोहामा है, और यहाँ के सीज पोर्ट्स का नाम बोला उसने, वैंकूवर, सिएटल, पोर्टलैंड, सैन फ्रांसिस्को एंड लॉस एंजल्स। और एशियन साइड पे बोला योकोहामा, कोबे, शंघाई, हांगकांग, मनीला एंड Singapore. So let's see it in the map. So you can see Hong Kong, Shanghai, Yokohama, Singapore, they are on the Asian side, and on the American side it is Vancouver, San Francisco, Honolulu, and Panama, because they will be in the North Pacific Sea route. Then comes the South Pacific Sea route. Again, they will just mention the name of the ports. You will see the South Pacific Sea route uh, connects Western Europe and North America with Australia, New Zealand, and Pacific Islands. So you can mark this also. And further, it says that Hong Kong, Philippines, and Indonesia, the distance covered between Panama and Sydney and Honolulu is important. Honolulu is an important sea route here. कोस्टल शिपिंग जो है चीपर मोड ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्ट है, कन्वीनियंट है, एंड इंपॉर्टेंट कंट्रीज जो हैं लाइक यूएसए, चाइना एंड इंडिया, इनमें ये बहुत डेवलप हो चुका है. Even in European countries also, it is developed. And what do you find? That if coastal shipping is properly developed, then a lot of land route congestion can be reduced, because coastal shipping can easily carry a lot of heavy uh, goods, heavy and bulky goods. So the Indian on the land, the traffic can be easily reduced. Now we come to the various shipping canal, and the most important shipping canal is the Suez Canal. You can see Suez Canal, and what do you find? That Port Said and Port Suez in south are linked by the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. So both of them, if you see, they are joining the two water bodies, and it reduces the direct distance between Liverpool and Colombo. Now, here to understand Liverpool and Colombo, Liverpool, Colombo is here, and Liverpool is somewhere in London. It is not shown here. So, it, all the way from here to here, the direct distance has been reduced. Why? Because of Suez Canal. Because now, in place of going from Cape of Good Hope, you can go through the Mediterranean Indian Ocean route. So, that is how it has reduced the distance between the